Have you ever noticed something strange? Some people seem to have everything and still feel unhappy, while others go through difficult times and still manage to live peacefully. Why? Because happiness is not only decided by circumstances, it is also decided by the habits that slowly destroy a person from the inside. And the dangerous part is that most people don't even realize they are working against their own happiness every single day. Every thought, every reaction, every habit is either making you mentally stronger or slowly draining your peace. And today, we're going to talk about the 6 enemies of happiness that silently destroy millions of people from the inside. 1. Complaining. Complaining feels harmless at first. Complaining about life, complaining about people, complaining about bad luck. But slowly, complaining becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, a person starts seeing problems in every situation. Their focus stays on what's wrong instead of what can be improved. And whatever the mind focuses on repeatedly starts feeling bigger and more powerful. That's why some people turn even small problems into emotional burdens. The truth is, complaining gives temporary relief, but creates permanent negativity. Mentally strong people do not ignore problems. They simply refuse to waste their energy on things they cannot control. 2. Negative self-talk. The most dangerous voice is not the one outside you. It is the one inside your own mind. The voice that quietly says, "You're not good enough. You always fail. You can't do this." And the scary part is this. If you hear a lie long enough, the mind slowly starts accepting it as truth. That is why many people lose confidence before they even try. Negative self-talk does not destroy confidence in one day. It destroys it slowly, thought by thought, day by day. And eventually, the person becomes afraid of taking opportunities because deep inside, they already expect failure. But imagine how different life would feel if you spoke to yourself the same way you speak to someone you care about. Because the way you speak to yourself becomes the way you see yourself. 3. Lack of goals. People do not become mentally exhausted only because they work too hard. Sometimes they become exhausted because they have no direction. A life without goals slowly starts feeling repetitive. The same routine, the same distractions, the same days repeating again and again. And one day, a person suddenly realizes they are surviving, but not truly living. Goals are not only important for success, they give meaning, direction, and purpose. Without purpose, the mind starts filling itself with unnecessary overthinking and confusion. That is why focused people often appear mentally stronger, because their mind is not constantly wandering without direction. 4. Procrastination. Procrastination is not always laziness. Most of the time, it is fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear of starting. That is why the mind keeps saying, "Start tomorrow. You're not ready yet. Wait a little longer." And the dangerous part is that the longer you delay something, the heavier it becomes mentally. Eventually, the problem is no longer the task itself. It becomes the guilt of avoiding it. And guilt slowly destroys self-respect. Mentally strong people are not always motivated. They simply take action even when they don't feel like it, because they understand that waiting for motivation is one of the fastest ways to stay stuck. 5. Need for validation. Many people never truly live their own life. They spend most of their time trying to impress other people. Social media approval, attention, likes, validation, other people's opinions. And slowly, their happiness starts depending on how others react to them. If people praise them, they feel valuable. If people ignore them, they feel insecure. That is dangerous, because the moment your happiness depends on other people, you lose control over your own peace. The truth is, people give temporary attention and then move on. But in the process, many people lose their identity trying to please everyone else. Real confidence begins when a person stops needing constant approval. 6. Comparing yourself to others. Comparison is one of the biggest enemies of happiness, because on social media, people compare their real life to someone else's highlight reel. And slowly, the mind starts saying, "Everyone is ahead of me. I'm falling behind. Why is my life not like theirs?" Without realizing it, the person stops appreciating their own progress and blessings. The problem with comparison is that it never ends. There will always be someone more successful, more attractive, more talented, or more ahead in life. And if happiness depends on comparison, peace will never feel stable. Real growth begins when a person stops competing with others and starts focusing on becoming a better version of themselves. The things that destroy happiness are not always dramatic. Sometimes they are small habits that quietly poison the mind every single day. Complaining, negative thinking, overthinking, validation, comparison. These things slowly steal a person's peace from the inside. But the good news is that the habits destroying your mind can also be changed, step by step, thought by thought, habit by habit. Because in the end, a happy life is not built through perfection. It is built through the habits you choose every single day.